Alrighty, I'm going to quickly show you how we derive the law of cosines. So I'm going to start with the part that we did in class. So I drew in the altitude, which will represent the height. So unlike the law of sines that we did, I actually need to use the pieces that I get here. So this whole side length is c, but I need to chop it into these two little pieces. So if I call this piece x, then this piece right here is going to be c minus x. And then I'm also going to label my new point right here, point D. So that gives me two little right triangles now. I have triangle CDA, and triangle CDB. So I'm going to use my two little right triangles, do some math that I know already. So we're going to start with triangle CDA. Okay, so that's this triangle here, CDA, this little left-hand right triangle. And I'm going to set up the Pythagorean theorem with this. So Pythagorean theorem is the two legs squared and added together equals the hypotenuse squared. But I'm going to put the hypotenuse part first, so that means that's going to give me b squared equals x squared plus h squared. Okay, so look at that. Make sure you understand how that's the Pythagorean theorem. Excuse me. Then the other thing, and then I'm going to pause right there. Then the other thing I'm going to do is find the cosine of angle A. So the cosine of angle A, cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, so that's going to be x over b. Then I'm going to solve for x, so I get x equals b times the cosine of A. And then I'm going to pause right there. Then I'm going to move on to triangle CDB. All right, triangle CDB. And I'm going to set up the Pythagorean theorem for that one as well. It's leg squared plus leg squared equals hypotenuse squared. But just like this one over here, I'm going to put the hypotenuse first. So that'll give me a squared equals, so then I have to have the two legs squared, excuse me. So this one is going to be c minus x. So I will have c minus x squared plus h squared. Right. So then I need to go ahead and multiply this out. This is not c squared minus x squared. It becomes a trinomial, so make sure you know how to do that. This is a squared equals c squared minus 2cx plus x squared plus h squared then. Okay, so now I'm going to do some substitution here. I'm going to substitute two different things. Where I have, excuse me, where I have x plus h squared, that's going to be b squared. All right, so that's what's going there. I'm going to make that into b squared. And then where I have x, I'm going to substitute in b times, here's x, b times the cosine of a. All right, so I'm going to end up with a squared equals c squared minus 2 times c, and then x, that is b times the cosine of a. All right, and then this plus h squared, plus x squared plus h squared, this right here, I'm substituting in b squared for that. And that's what I end up with. So now if I readjust things a little bit to where it's more in an order that would be proper mathematically, excuse me, I end up with a squared equals, so then I have this b squared and this c squared, so I would put b squared first, b squared plus c squared minus 2, and we usually put them alphabetically, b times c times the cosine of a. And that right there is your basic law of cosines. Really the only one you need to know and understand, as long as you understand the pattern that works there, and then you can make it work for all of them. But that is exactly what we wrote right here, and it comes from Pythagorean theorem and your basic right triangle trick. So there you go.